If you are hearing me, if you are seeing me, please leave a comment in the comment section. Just put a 1 in the comment section if you can hear me and if you can see me. I'm going to be checking on my phone really quickly. Let's see what we got going on. It looks like I'm live right now. Put something in the comment section if you are hearing and seeing me. If you are hearing and seeing me. Let me know, let me know, let me know. Let me know before we get started. Let me know. Okay. Professor Black Ops, Gerald Lee. Okay, I'm seeing a couple of ones here. Okay. Welcome. Happy Sunday, everybody. This is Monday Eve, right? Everybody's getting ready to go back to work on Monday. Hopefully you all have had a good weekend. I know this has been an eventful weekend for me. Just found out the sex of my unborn child, and I am having a girl. I'm having a girl. What's up, Rich Turner? Hey, welcome, man. So my wife thought it was going to be a boy, and I thought it was going to be a girl. So we actually have like all these little decorations and everything with the cups and everything. Let me see. Even this stuff, we got like all types of girl, boy type of stuff. It was an all day thing. Family basically just left not too long ago. Yeah, thanks. I'm seeing everybody saying a congrats. What's up, Def Racer? Greg T Sec. You said you're not having a good weekend. Sorry about that. Greg says congrats. Gerald said congrats. Yeah, thanks everybody. I'm seeing all the congrats. Yeah, we just found out today it was an all day event, and I'm having a girl, so I'm gonna be a girl dad pretty soon. So I'm really excited and looking forward to it. I actually have predicted I'm gonna have a little girl. I actually predicted that. Blackavelli was good. Welcome back. One of the day ones for sure. Thank you. Yeah, appreciate it. So this is just a gender reveal. So she's 5 or 6 months pregnant right now. So so we still got a little bit of time left. We're doing November, so super duper excited about it. Okay. How's everybody else's weekend going? How's everything going? Because I do want to jump into the subject pretty soon, but I do want to give a little bit of time for it to air out, for the conversation to air out. How are you all doing? How's your weekend going? 1 second as I get some things set up here. Okay. I'm seeing the congrats and thank you again. And it's cool. Actually, I think it's cool to just get right into it. One thing that I wanted to discuss today, I think is a very interesting topic. Starting off the conversation, because the overall conversation is the golden handcuffs thing. I don't know if you ever heard about that, but we're going to get into it. Don't worry. I'm going to be here for probably about an hour, maybe a little bit more, based upon how much participation, how many people come up on the stream. So just wanted to come in here and kind of have this discussion. It started off with the question of what is company loyalty and does it exist anymore? Feel free to throw some of your comments in the comment section. But company loyalty is really interesting because I think that with my family, we had it. There was a lot of that. So on my mom's side, a lot of my family, they come from the South, come from like Nashville, Tennessee, they come from Chattanooga. They come from different parts of the South. And they moved up to the north in the city of Detroit when there was the automotive boom happening. So Ford, Chrysler, GM, they were having strong hiring into the plant environments. So a lot of my family members, they had migrated from the South to the North in order to find new jobs, new opportunities. Okay, I'm seeing some responses already. Gerald said, no, it does not exist anymore. He said, he ended that with a LOL. Okay, I kind of agree with you there. Kay Halton, welcome. Salute to you too. So like I was mentioning, like my family migrated from the South to the North, and they started to work in the automotive industry, and they worked those jobs until they retired. My grandfather and my grandmother retired in the automotive plants, and they were able to get pensions. They were able to support a family of 6+. Sometimes it was even family members or extended family members that they were able to support on these salaries. And they were loyal to the company. They were company men and company women. They got discounts. They were able to even drive the same vehicles that they were working on manufacturing. I mean, it was a good situation, right? It was a good situation in the 50s, the 60s, somewhere around that that time is when they had moved in. JM also answered the question. He says, I am not loyal to no company. He said, I go for what's best for me and my future to companies, especially big companies. You're just a number, bro. Okay? He said, you're just a number. He said he doesn't have any company loyalty. Gerald said it doesn't exist anymore. Blackavelli said not the days of 20. So I'm thinking that he's saying that it's also not for today, right? As it concerns 2022. A lot of people are saying no. So I'm seeing that it's a resounding no. And I agree with that sentiment, right? Because I think that our grandparents and our parents, they had incentives for staying with one company that just don't exist anymore. I think many of us can see that pensions don't really exist in many organizations outside of government, but you have to kind of stay with those companies, those government organizations receiving less of a compensation than your commercial counterparts, and many times you are pretty much working for retirement. A lot of companies do what, like this 401k matching program. They call that investing, and this is what the company is doing. They're matching the first 3% that you add, or this first 6%, sometimes even 10%, right? That's something that they use as a bait for people to stay at companies, but it's not anything like taking care of you after you retire, taking care of your family and insurance and all that. Blackavelli corrected. It says, no, the days of working 20 years is getting a gold watch are over. He said it's over. So I think that that's something, right? That's something that really doesn't exist anymore. It really doesn't exist anymore, especially in tech and especially within cybersecurity. I don't even know the last time that I've seen it. And what's interesting is that I've had experiences with my family members, and they're just like, man, you're going from company to company to company. You don't have any stability, no consistency. You're a job. Like, I've gotten job hopper things. Even people on YouTube, some people were saying, yo, you're just a hired gun. Like, you're not really doing anything. Like, you're not really making any impact where you are. I've gotten a lot of these type of responses. But I think that the thing that these responses are not taking into account is that the shifting in the work environment, the shifting in people pretty much becoming free agents. I mean, I've even seen people even give NBA players a hard time. Like, I'm a really big NBA fan. All right. So a lot of times you have seen these. LeBron was taking his talents to South Beach, going from the Cleveland Cavaliers to the Miami Heat, and he took his talents to another place. He saw himself as a business, and he took his talents and his fan base, his own franchise. He's moving his franchise from one organization to another organization. You know, that's more of the norm today. I mean, even now this summer, a lot of these superstars like a Kevin Durant, you know, trying to force himself out of the Brooklyn Nets, you know, Kyrie Irving, you know, kind of being Kyrie Irving. Other star players are requesting trades or have requested trades from organizations because they don't see that loyalty piece there anymore. They aren't loyal to just one organization, one type of franchise, but rather they see themselves as a business. They see themselves as a franchise. Let me go here to the comment section really quickly and see what everybody's saying. Def Racer is just being Def Racer, laughing. I don't know what he's laughing at, boy, but something was funny there. So yeah, so Def Racer with the LOLs. Rich Turner, he said he just resigned last week. His last day will be August 31st. Okay. Tell us more about that. Like, was there a particular reason for that? Like, what brought that on? Are you looking to do your own thing? Are you looking to move to another organization? Why have you not had company loyalty? Why did you leave that company? Right? JM kind of followed it up and says, but if you have some sort of public service job like military, yeah, we were mentioning that, military or government, I think you should have some sort of loyalty in those positions. Okay, how come, JM? Why do you think that you need loyalty in military and government? Or let's see, why do you think you need loyalty in military or government positions? Is it because there's a particular mission? Is it higher, or is it something above that of just working for an organization? Do you think it's a higher thing, like some type of patriotism? Is that the reason why you think that there should be more loyalty for those organizations? JM kind of followed up. People with a good class. I'm seeing Keep It Techie in the. Oh, all right, cool. You Keep It Techie. Welcome. Keep It Techie. Welcome, Josh. Oh, okay. Def Racer cleared up. He said the company hopping, right? That's funny, right? Because, oh my gosh, I got a company hopping story. Really quick company hopping story. I was a network security architect for a large organization in Chicago. They made like electrical distribution type of devices for large utility organizations, and I did a lot of cybersecurity with that organization. I was doing defense contracting, but I was also doing penetration testing on some of their equipment as it was kind of going out. So I would do pen tests against new devices or new things that they were selling as responses were coming back from the customer. So anyway, as I was going to leave this organization, the founder of the company that was acquired. So I was hired into a company. That company was acquired by a larger organization, and the founder of that company that was acquired kind of got me on the phone after I put in that 2-week resignation or that 2 weeks notice that I was leaving. And he was saying, well, you don't want to be seen, right? That job hopping thing, Def Rage. He said, you don't want to be seen as a job hopper. You don't want to be seen as somebody who moves from job to job to job. And he had like my LinkedIn up. He said, well, it looked like you were here. You used to work for Ford Motor Company. I was like, yeah, that was an internship. He said, well, then it looked like you went to another company, Caterpillar. I was like, yeah, that was an internship too. And then he said, well, it looked like then you worked for a company after that. I'm like, yeah, I was there for more than 2.5 years. He said, did you move somewhere else? I'm like, yeah, that was a contract. I took my services on the road. Like he really was trying to give me every reason for me to try to feel like I needed to stay. He was trying to, this is one, he was trying to shame me. He was trying to shame, blame, and explain to me to stay in the same role. Because he didn't want me to leave at all, right? Because I was given a very good output of work. I looked very good for the organization, and I created impact there. So he was trying to shame me into staying with that organization. And I'm like, no, I already accepted the other job offer, and you're not going to try to career shame me into staying here because of some relic of a thought process that you have. I had to go not only where the money was, but where the career opportunities were. They were not giving me in that organization what I was desiring in a career opportunity. We just didn't have any further business interest, and that's okay. But anyway, that was kind of the job hopping thing, right? That was the job hopping, just a short job hopping story there. Okay, let's go back to the chat. Okay, Brent said that he's dipping out. He's going to the tech route. And he says our fault. He said he heading into the tech route. Welcome to the dark side. Welcome, brother. So he said he's going. Rich Turner put in his 2 weeks notice, and he's going the tech route because of us. Yeah. I'm proud of that. Personally proud. Okay. Let's see. Def Racer said, but I don't think that there's much reason for loyalty these days. Yeah, me either. He says, unless there's an off making it worth it. Unless there's an off making it worth. An offer that makes you work. And that's what we're going to get into. That's a really good lead in to the next conversation as it concerns loyalty, because companies are substituting loyalty with the conversation of, the conversation of what the golden handcuffs. The golden handcuffs. So I think we all across the board agree that company loyalty pretty much doesn't exist anymore. But let's jump into the golden handcuffs. I do want to read some of your other comments because I'm seeing you guys are coming in hot here. Let's see. Okay, because Def Racer mentioned that unless it's an offer that makes you worth staying. Okay. JM says, because in public service positions, this is when he was explaining why it will be valuable for you to stay with an organization. There needs to be some level of loyalty. He said, because in public service positions, the lives of other people are on the line, right? True. If you walk away like that, and usually you sign contracts that you have to fulfill in some cases, I agree with that, right? If it's something beyond just the work environment, if it's something that you have some other type of ethic or moral aligned with you stand with that organization, listen, it's not every man needs to make that decision for themselves. But I do think that, if it's some type of public service type of role, I think it is important for you to consider other things beyond just pay and career progression. So that makes sense. Blockavelli says companies will drop you like a bad habit. You have to keep that same energy. Okay. Keep that same energy with those organizations. Oh, actually, I did want to use one of the new features with background music. So they have background music here. Let me know if you all are able to hear this. Can you all hear the background music? I can hear it a little bit. I'm gonna keep it low as I talk, so hopefully you all can hear that. Okay, I'm seeing some other things. I'm gonna hit these, and then we're gonna jump right into the golden handcuffs conversation. Okay, is the music too loud? Can you all still hear me? Just give me a 1 if it's good. Give me a 2 if it's too loud. Okay, I'm gonna keep hitting these questions. Okay. Black Belly said, keep that same energy. Yeah, Def Race a job, SBE. Yeah, he's trying to SBE me into staying in the same road when it's not gonna work. It's not gonna work, especially when I already signed a contract for a new organization. Okay. Let's check this out. Let's see. Get to some more. Oh, okay, 1 is good. All right, cool. Okay. Let's see. Okay, Rent said that he's leaving my company because of change in leadership to a drop in accountability. Top performers have been carrying other departments. Okay, I feel that, right? If there's too much on the leaders, if there's some change that does no longer serves you or no longer aligns with your career aspirations, yeah. I mean, hey, loyalty really doesn't exist like that anymore. Okay. Paul BC says, is it bad to go from company to company in tech? No, it's really not that bad to go from company to company. A lot of times when you jump into some of those upper, like the larger companies, like the Googles, the Amazons, the Microsoft, it's very common that those individuals go from company to company to company because these companies are trying to ascertain or trying to get the best talent. So going from one company to another company, it's not uncommon, and actually it's very common in most cases. Very, very common. Okay. A couple of more, and then we're going to jump into the golden handcuff conversation. Okay. Let's see, bruh. Okay, Calvin Strong, welcome. He says, bruh, I'm in the military, and you just a number as well. Okay, he said, listen, okay, JN Calvin said that he's in the military, and you're also just a number there. So it's really not, doesn't seem to be really that big a deal as it concerns a higher ethic for staying with the company. And that's why I said everybody's different. Everybody has their own considerations with being with an organization. So JM also mentioned that another thing to consider is that if you get a better opportunity, the new company might not want to wait too long until you can start. So the sooner you move to your new position, the better. Absolutely. I think I'm caught up on the chat. Professor Black Ops says he's been going super hard on AWS search and videos. Absolutely. Professor Black Ops is putting out material all the time. If you guys are interested, he is there. You can click on his channel and get more information on AWS search, videos on AWS security. He has moved beyond the AWS practitioner. He's going to more of the security specifics. So check out some of his content there. Check out some of his stuff there. Keep It Techie said, yeah, he met a manager that went from Amazon to Microsoft, then back to Amazon, and jumping companies is normal. Absolutely. But today, we're going to get a little bit more. I'm going to turn the music down just a tad bit. Okay, cool. So we're going to get into what are the golden handcuffs in tech. And I think I want to show you all that in a video, which gives a good idea of it. So bear with me as I get this link up. I'm going to copy that. I'm going to share. Actually, I'm going to open it up in another tab. Let's see. And I'm going to play it as soon as it starts. Let me see if I can get this. Let me restart this. Okay. Let me pause this. Okay. Let me do something with the band. Let's see. The brand. I'm going to cut the music off for now. And then I'm going to share this video. And this gives a good introduction into this whole idea about what golden handcuffs are. So I'm going to share screen. Share. I'm going to do a Chrome tab. Perk of a company. Okay. I want to share this one. And I am going to start it.
Every person who works at a tech company gets a pair of golden handcuffs when they get hired. Now, these are not literal handcuffs. That would be a little bit too spicy for the workplace. But when people say that they have golden handcuffs, they're referring to the stock that they get as a part of their compensation every year. So at tech companies, you typically get stock as a part of your compensation, but the catch is that you have to stay at the company for a certain amount of time in order for that stock to vest or to actually be yours. And you don't only get this stock when you get hired, you get this stock every year. And so every year you have another period of time to wait until your stock that you just got vests and you can actually own it. So because of this, it makes it a little hard to determine when you should leave the company, and therefore they call stock golden handcuffs. Did you know that every person who works?
Okay. I thought that was a pretty decent breakdown. Do you all want to hear that again? Did you catch it? Or maybe one more time? Actually, let me play it one more time. It's short, but for everybody to kind of get the specifics of what she's talking about as it concerns the golden handcuffs. I'm going to play it one more time.
Works at a tech company gets a pair of golden handcuffs when they get hired. Now, these are not literal handcuffs. That would be a little bit too spicy for the workplace. But when people say that they have golden handcuffs, they're referring to the stock that they get as a part of their compensation every year. So at tech companies, you typically get stock as a part of your compensation, but the catch is that you have to stay at the company for a certain amount of time in order for that stock to vest or to actually be yours. And you don't only get this stock when you get hired, you get this stock every year. And so every year you have another period of time to wait until your stock that you just got vests and you can actually own it. So because of this, it makes it a little hard to determine when you should leave the company, and therefore they call stock golden handcuffs.
Oops, let me stop that. Okay. So that's kind of the overall gist of the golden handcuffs. I think there's a couple of pieces that she might be missing. I think stock is one part of what the golden handcuffs are, but let me kind of give the overall, the high level definition of it. And this is just from the internet, something that from different forums. So I'm going to read it here. It says a golden handcuff is an incentive that management provides employees to encourage them to stay with their company for a long period of time. Golden handcuffs are a common tool in employment management, especially when employers want to retain employees who excel in their work. Golden handcuffs are common within industries where employees receive high compensation and are likely to receive competitive offers from other companies during their employment, such as the tech and financial industry. So common examples of golden handcuffs include, annual bonuses, right? As it concerns cash amounts, stock RSU, so restricted stock unit refreshers. That's more of what she was talking about, which is a part of what those golden handcuffs are. Even some people get company cars, company credit cards, different incentives with large organizations, and tuition assistance or tuition payment. Those are some examples of what these golden handcuffs are. And it's almost interesting because, we started off talking about what company loyalty was. And I think that not only do we understand from what I saw in the chat, we understand that company loyalty doesn't exist. Neither does, or not only do we understand that it doesn't exist, but also management within large organizations understand that too. They understand that that it's hard for them to retain good talent, and they need to in some way get more and more people to stay and retain that particular talent. So they know that the loyalty isn't there anymore. So they use golden handcuffs in order to keep people there. Is this making sense there? Is that making sense? What do you all think? What do you all think? And actually, on that note, just wanted to introduce the topic, and then we're going to have some discussion here because I want to go ahead and drop the link. I want to go ahead and drop the link here, and we can talk more about the golden handcuffs. And I think I'll just take it, copy it, and throw it in the chat a couple of times. Come on up. And then we can talk more and more about this whole idea of the golden handcuffs, what it really means to kind of what tech companies and large organizations do to keep people within their organizations. And I'm going to ask the question is that, have you all ever gotten a golden handcuffs? I have a story, and probably as people are coming up, I actually almost got, let me tell you, I almost got locked down by a company before. I almost got locked down by a company because they were trying to give me the golden handcuffs, and they were trying to retain me for at least 2 years working with that organization after I already been there for 2.5 years. And this came in the form of one of these incentives, and it was paying for the entirety of my master's degree. This company wanted me to stay with the organization, and they were going to pay for my whole entire graduate degree. And it was very tempting. It was very tempting, but me accepting and paying for that degree came with me having to stay with that organization for 2 years at least. I had to stay there for 2 years at least in order to fulfill my obligation. So think about that, right? They know that there is no company loyalty. They might have even known that I was already interviewing for other organizations. They probably knew I had those skill sets that were out there that companies were looking for. And they were like, yo, we got to lock him down. We know that he wants to start his master's. We know that he wants to go through his program. Let us go ahead and clank on him. Let's go ahead and put some cuffs on him to make sure that we're able to retain him as he is completing his master's degree, and we're able to get as much of an output of work from him during this time. They tried to put the golden handcuffs on me. They tried to lock me down, and I was like, yo, I got to get out of here. I had to leave because the thing about it is that, and that's what I told my wife about, right? Because we discussed this, and I'm like, do I want to stay with this organization long term? Do I want them to kind of retain me or keep me there? Or am I looking to do other things? And do they align with my career aspirations? And at the time, they did not. So, they almost got me, man. They almost got me, Professor Black Ops. They almost locked me down. They almost did for 2 whole years. And I would have still been there right now. Or actually, I would have just been leaving there. So what do you think, man? What do you think about these golden handcuffs? What do you think? Let me put the
I don't think that was a golden handcuffs, but I understand what
you're
saying. I'm old. 2 years ain't long. By the time you start your degree, you're gonna have a year in. You probably have to stay extra year, but I feel what you're saying.
Let me tell you why I thought it was the golden handcuffs. It's because my graduate degree was probably like $30,000 to $35,000 altogether. Mm-hmm. The offer for the next role was probably $15,000 to $20,000 more, but it also was aligned with the career progression. At that previous company, I didn't really have too much of career progression. It was like you probably would have been a senior network security architect, and that probably would have been it until somebody left or they promoted you to a VP or something, right? So in that time, from those two years, I've been able to make way more, like probably double my previous salary, and I would have still been with that organization making very similar money. So I didn't see the money working out there too. So I thought that they were trying to lock me down, man. I don't know.
That makes sense. Like you said, you got to balance, like you said, the Absolutely. Money, the opportunity cost, what you're gonna be doing. So what do you think about golden handcuffs?
Golden handcuffs, company loyalty.
Oh, there's no company loyalty. I told B2B, get out your feelings, man. You're just a resource, man. It's a profit and loss, man. If you're a resource, they expect you to make money. If you stop making money, after a while, they're gonna fire you, right? So I mean, for me, it's just simple math. I mean, I've been a consultant for 25 years now.
Right.
So it just.
So how about in a situation? So how about we answer this question? Start off here. Who are organizations typically given the golden handcuffs to? Who are they trying to retain and keep within their organizations?
What I see is high-level VPs and people that sell a lot, right? Then you usually get a couple tech guys that been with the firm. Like I'm with a small consulting firm. You kind of got this clique. So it's probably 5 top consultants that they really like, that they got the golden handcuffs. Everybody else, you just a resource. Like I'm on the bench. If they don't find me a job in 6 weeks, they're gonna fire me. No hard feelings. I understand the game, man. I'm not tripping. It is what it is.
So then, right? Those that top talent, those top people that they need to be within organizations. What does that look like, though? Right, in a compensation package, what do you think golden handcuffs looks like? Give me the breakdown.
Well, like you said, I think those golden handcuffs is you probably in the top 6% of black men. You making 150 more. And 2 is like she said actually I was talking to a big consultant company, like she was talking, every time I give you restricted options, they were 6 figures worth of options. You got to stay 5 years, you get 20%. The first year you get 20% of those restrictions. If you leave, 40, 60, because they're trying to get you to stay.
Right.
So to me, that's what the golden handcuffs look like.
Okay. Yeah, because that's a lot of times what it does look like, because especially with big tech companies, they've had stock that typically appreciates pretty high, right? Over time, it grows and grows and grows. So if you are given a certain amount of stock, and that's another thing, right? Something that's probably good to like break down. A lot of times when companies give this stock, they are considered restricted stock units, which mean that they vest or you're able to gain access to that money over a certain period of time rather than all at the same time. So these vesting periods, just like you mentioned, like, so at my last organization, I actually got RSUs as a part of my compensation. And I got like, I don't know, something like $100,000 in RSUs, but they didn't vest all at the same time. I had to stay there for 1 year until I can get half of that. So after one year, I'm sorry, not half, 25% of it.
Okay, that's not bad. That's not bad.
Right.
That's not bad.
After 1 year, I was able to get 25,000 of the $100,000 in stock that it was worth. So that means that I can't go anywhere. I had to wait a year so I can get access to that 25,000, and that 25,000 is on top of my base salary and on top of my annual percentage, like my performance bonus. So I'm locked in for that year, and then after that, every quarter I got like a small percentage of it until at the end of the year they will give what you call stock refreshers. They would get RSU refreshers, where then they'll just give you a whole nother lump sum of stock. And then you got a whole nother year where you can get 25, 30, 40. I knew some people who had $50,000 to $60,000 in stock that was about to vest. They have to stay within that organization before that money vested. Does that make sense? So it's like it keeps you there because you got that big payout coming up.
But two is people don't realize though is I worked at a large insurance company in the Midwest called Conseco. They were giving stock options, but what happened is they bought a big company. Then their stock price went down, and everybody was underwater. So, so you got to be careful. You got to make sure your stock are valuable because you can. And the CIO I used to work with him at that company. He said he had, I think he said he had $500,000 all underwater. Man, he's still depressed about it. He told me stop bringing it up. I said, "What you do, big boy?" He goes, "Man, I'm still underwater." He said, He said, "Sometimes I just look at it and just poof." So you got to be careful because if the stock market goes down, depending on where you restricted at, you can leave with zero.
Yes, that's very possible to leave organizations with nothing.
So that's when you got to look at the price and like get this knowledge because everybody doesn't end up happy and have stock that appreciate and you can walk away $1 million. Probably half the people gonna be underwater.
That's something, right? That's something that a lot of people take bets in with startup companies, right? Because when if you start working for a startup company and they have not yet went public, if stock is part of the compensation, it doesn't mean anything, right? It's no money associated with that yet, right? It's almost like you actually are gambling, right? You are getting this stock compensation or you are getting this stock in your name in hopes that when this vests or in hopes that when this company goes public, that you would have access to those shares. And that's where your money is. So, it's like people gamble there. They'll stay with a startup until it goes public. But if it doesn't perform well on the market, you got to think about that.
Well, two is what I do is I need to stop doing this. I help this young brother. He's got this startup. It's doing pretty well. He's got a unique software. So I came in and did security. We did his handshake. We agreed to write it up. I'm getting zero, but I get 3% of the company. So he's got financing like everybody. He's got big dreams. We're going to go public and get all this. But I told him, settle down, young man. Right now, 0 times 0, 0. I mean, I think he's got a good idea. He's got a finance background. So he understands venture capital and angel investment. But in the end, I'm working for free right now. But like to us, I like him. So I understand what the risk is. And for me, security, I'm not doing a lot. I'm doing policies, procedures, gauge for everything. I'm giving them the sticks.
Here we go with the sticks and all that.
But go ahead.
I think we answered the question of who gets the stock, who gets the golden handcuffs. Very high performing resources within organizations. Many times, like you mentioned, VPs and executives and directors, they're giving a retention bonus a lot of times, right? And they have to stay there for a certain period of time. Or you might be given, if they are paying for in my case, I thought, right, that if they pay for my degree, I got to stay there for a certain period of time. That's keeping me there within that organization. But some other stuff can even be in the case of, what was I going to say? Stock. That's the thing that we mentioned. But we answered who gets those golden handcuffs, but there are people who don't get those golden handcuffs, right?
Oh,
and it might come in the form of, these individuals, right? People here, let's go again. People who might be working, and I don't think it's anything wrong with help desk, but this individual definitely is not a high performer here, right? He's just kind of chilling, doing his own thing. Here, actually, let me loop it. Let me loop it so you can get a good understanding of who this individual is.
Yeah,
right?
but a good friend of mine, her golden handcuffs is she's a little older. She's about to retire. She works at a state agency. She needs to get 10 years to get a partial pension. So I talk to her every day. So I help her. She's an ISO. And we used to work together. So she said, I'm counting down. She's got 20 years at a Fortune 500 company. And she's going to get another 10 years at the state. So she's going to have 2 pensions. So she's like, I'm just counting down the days. So that's her golden handcuffs because she needs whatever. I think it was a year and a month to get that 10 years. And I think she gets half of a pension plus her other pensions. Then she's set. But that's her handcuffs. She can't leave.
But there's people who have been with the organization for long periods of time where they still get pensions. Like, I don't know about anybody else, but I don't even know what a pension is. That's never been offered to me. I don't even know. Go ahead.
I think that's a dead thing. Like you said, I think especially in Detroit, the big three, that's old time pensions, right?
Old time.
The state and federal still got a little pension, but I don't really know any commercial companies that does pension anymore. And as we know, you got to be careful because, you could Google that, is Detroit declared bankruptcy and cut people's pension.
A lot of people, yes.
So even though you think you got a pension from you got to be careful because states and cities can declare bankruptcy and cut your pension.
I think that even applied to like teachers, like the teachers union. They were getting their pension cut. Yeah, so that was a big deal. I know teachers 30, 35 years in the game were getting their pensions cut, and they were like, thinking that, what did I do all that work for? That was a promise that's never been fulfilled. So yeah.
And the other part of that is you took less money because you was working for the state or the city to get that money on the back end in the pension, and they just toasted it.
Yep. And just like Def Racer said, this individual was being hard at work. Right? They were hard at work or hardly working. Like, what was they doing? So these people don't like companies. Let me tell you, organizations a lot of times are happy to see these people go. They're like, all right, let me just go ahead and replace you. You're kind of working help desk. Again, nothing wrong with help desk, but these typically are not the individuals who companies are given high compensations, high RSUs to retain this talent. At times, right, you typically don't see it within help desk resources a lot of times because help desk resources are much easier to replace than very high performing, high working, or high, I guess, rare type of resources within organizations. It's difficult, or even these people don't receive it either, right? People busting up computers, right? This is an extreme example, but disgruntled employees, people who are difficult to work with, these individuals typically don't receive the golden handcuffs, right? They don't get those high compensations. Yep.
I just seen somebody escorted out one of the client I just left. There's a guy been in there. He was not breaking computers, but he was belligerent, getting a little spicy. My boss told me to take a break and lead up and kind of go away from his areas. Man, he turned around. Security boxed his stuff up and escorted him out.
Listen, it's like you're not getting the golden handcuffs. You're getting the silver ones, right? At that point, you're getting the silver handcuffs at that point. Or at times, people who listen, Future just mess up the whole data center, right? They're not trying to retain. Listen, they're not trying to retain Future in that help desk data analyst role or data center role. Okay, if you messing up all the time, again, they're happy to see you go. They don't want you there. They don't want you there anymore. So, so we answer the question, who receives it? Well, we want to answer the question, these individuals don't receive the golden handcuffs. People who's messing up all the time and causing issues to the business. Individuals who are disgruntled, doing all types of crazy stuff and cussing people out and everything. People who sleeping, right? Sleeping at the job, right? You might not have even heard of that. Or even people who have more of a replaceable role. Like, you see her sitting at that desk, but look at the mass number of people behind her that probably is doing her same exact job. So if you are in a very replaceable role, you're not going to be very much so receiving those high compensations and retention bonuses to be staying within companies. So, I wanted to kind of point that out also. Yeah, but go ahead if you have anything.
No, I think you hit it on the head. Like I said, when I was at that Fortune 500 insurance company, I think it was VPs and up, and I think I was just got promoted to project leader, and they were throwing us a few little crumbs in there to get a little bit to get ready. So I think that was kind of like the cutoff. Anything under that, you wasn't working. And two is like you said, they were trying to retain talent, but once again, we got them, but they became worthless. They were acquiring a lot of companies, and they acquired some that was too big and they couldn't swallow it, and they went under. So all the stock options was underwater. So I like to put that at point because we always talk about the winners and stuff, but I would say 50% of the people that get stock options are probably worthless.
Really?
Yeah, I think we should Google that because I know mine was worthless. I met a few people that their stuff was worthless. So
absolutely,
like you said, you betting on a lot of startups, and most startups fail.
Oh crap! Hold on.
Yeah,
sorry.
No, it's all good. I'll drop you for a second. Oh, okay. What's good, Keep
All right, what's happening, man?
What's up, man? What's up?
Yeah, I had to hurry up and eat, man. I know you was waiting for people to come up.
You're good,
you know
man.
what I'm saying? So
you are good. It's a Sunday night, man. We just kind of roll into the next workday type of thing. This is kind of like the motivator to jump into the next workday week.
Yeah, I'm about to miss something. I had to put P Valley on remote control so I can watch that.
Man, that's a whole other story. Me and my wife be watching that, man. That's just crazy.
Man, I don't know how they got me watching Big Clifford, but we're going to get back on subject.
That's a crazy, man. I ain't with it, man.
We're going to get back on subject. I'm just going to leave that alone.
So what you got on that? Keep it techie. Do you have anything or any thoughts? Yep.
So one thing that popped up in my head was, I mean, it kind of reminded me of how the military gets people to, you know, whatever positions they have available. They offer bonuses. And so you don't get that bonus. Like you can, like I remember, all right, when I came in, they wasn't giving bonuses. It was before the Iraq war. But after that, during the war, like at the height of the war, because I was in basic training when we actually went to war, I think Afghanistan first. After that though, and I started seeing new people coming in, like rolling into the units that had just came back from basic training. They were getting bonuses of up to $100,000.
Wow.
Well, they weren't getting that $100,000 like lump sum. You wasn't getting it as soon as you signed the paperwork or the contract. Because you know people would go home, get that money, you gonna roll out, not complete the training. So they would give it to you in phases. So once you completed basic training, they give you 10,000.
Wow.
And then each year after that, throughout your contract, they gave you $10,000 until they paid it off. You know what I'm saying? So that's one of the ways they, you know, keep you, you know, doing what you need to do in the military as well. Like it's by feeding you that money. And I know it's different from stocks, but they feed you that money at a slow pace to keep you in.
So it's like 10,000 every single year for you to stay. And in order for you to get that full amount, you got to stay all 10. It's not like 10 years at least.
Well, until you complete the contract. So if it's anything left, let's say you had, I don't know, out of 6-year contract, let's say you had, you know, $40,000 left,
right?
You know, that they had to pay you, then they'll pay you all of that because you fulfilled your contract, but they'll only give you $10,000, you know, each year up to that point.
Who do they offer that to? Is a certain group of individuals they offer that to?
It's all based on the MOS that you're going in for. So, and that's your job. So whatever the job, like certain jobs, like the people that was getting, you know, blown up over there was truck drivers, 88 Mike. So at the height of the war, Iraq war, you know, logistics is one of the things that the Army heavily relies on, getting stuff to the people on the front lines. Obviously, food, ammunition, you know, all that stuff they need.
Right.
So truck drivers, 88 Mikes, they was paying them $60,000 bonuses to join, $100,000 bonuses, and then they were also hiring contractors to do a lot of it as well. And that's where, and those guys are getting blown up too. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So civilian contractors.
That's something. That's something. So it's something to keep people right. I mean, you kind of putting your life on. I mean, not kind of, but you're putting your life on the risk there. So it makes sense that there's such a high payout at the end, and They're looking. So what did they do before that? Was that something that was kind of newer when you joined the military, or were they always offering that?
They always did bonuses. They always offered certain stuff to people that join the military.
Yeah.
But they throw these incentives on top of it during times of war. And like I said, the Iraq war and Afghanistan war had popped off.
Yeah.
So they needed people. They were ramping up, especially in certain positions. So,
I see, and even Black and Velly jumped in there. He said the bonuses are based on your job. Special Forces guys got $100K re-enlist bonus. So that's even after you're finished with your service contract.
Yeah, you can get,
in order to re-enlist,
mm-hmm.
they'll give you a bonus to re-enlist. Okay.
Yeah, that's the only way I got a bonus. I got a bonus on re-enlistment. I got a 20K bonus to re-enlist because my MOS and the rank I was at. I was an E6, E5 at the time. And so they needed sergeants. They needed people that went through training and all that stuff. You know, so they offered me a bonus.
So it exists everywhere, not just in tech, right? So it exists everywhere, even with the and I think it goes towards the point that, hey, like loyalty for organizations, even within military, a lot of that doesn't exist anymore. And, you know, it kind of begs the question. And I think that everybody should ask this question here. Let me put it on the banner. You know, because I think it says pretty much, let me find it. Let me see. Let me see. I think everybody should ask themselves this question. They need to ask themselves, what is your price? Right? What is your price to stay with an organization? What do they need? What does the organization need to give you in order to stay with that company? Because that really kind of, you know, it shortens the negotiation phase. When you know what it is, right? Do I need what 150, 200,000 base? I need at least a $50,000 bonus every single year, right? What is the price for you to stay within these organizations? Because if you don't answer that question, these companies will definitely answer it for you. They're gonna ask you. They're gonna say, "Listen, do you want to stay here? No, I'm trying to go over here. All right. How about if we put this on the table? Okay. How about if we put this on the table? They'll keep going up if they want you, right? So I think everybody should kind of answer that question for themselves, and I think it's very interesting, right?
But
anything
like
y'all got on
said,
that?
Yeah, but I think the cart before the horse is you got to have the skills for them to want to put the money on the table, right?
Right.
That if you ain't got the skills, this is a true story. I was leaving my contract to DOD and khaki. They took over the contract. They became the prime. They were cutting people's salaries. So I was agreed to leave. Right. So this guy, I mean, it's a true story. It looked like Italian mafia. He puts a number inside the envelope and scoots it across the table.
Really?
So I play like the mafia. I put it up like I play in spades. I looked at it. I don't know why I did. It's true story. I felt like I scooted back over and I said exactly like this. I go, bro, that's a little light.
A little light.
That's a little light, man. You need to put some more. You need to put some more in there.
Yeah.
So so I had another job offer. I was time, so he scooted up. But you need to
POB. You're supposed to write on it and scoot it back. Why you?
Nah, I didn't like it, man.
Okay.
I was tired as the DOD. You know how to and,
I got you.
Keep it tech. You know, I had a couple primes and they kept the subs, but when the prime gets the contract after time, they underbid it, so they trying to cut everybody's salary. I'm like, dude, I'm up out of here. I'm tired. You tired of me? But me and like 3 other guys were key contributors. So they were trying to keep us to stay with bonus. Unless he wrote 100,000, I was out, man. So, you know, I just told him it was a little light. I needed to go do something. But that's why, shout out to Keep It Tech. Shout out to you. You got to get the fundamentals. You got to work on your skills. My old ass was over here doing AWS labs. I said, oh, hell, Gabe's coming on. Let me take a break.
No, it's
before I work in P-Valley. So I'm over at AWS. Yeah. I got 4 certifications from AWS now. I'm grinding and trying to pick up a few more, but you got to get those skills. Like Keep It Tech, you got to get your fundamentals, keep that baseline. Right. I love Linux. I'm an overhead. I'm over here VI and I'm doing old stuff. Shout out to Corn Shell. But but you got to work on those skills and keep it so you can get the value that you want to get out and get those RSUs or stock values. Like I said, I'm helping a couple companies. I like them, so handshake. Hopefully, when I'm gonna blow up in my 3%, it'll be like I get some Google type return or something crazy.
Why not? So. Absolutely. And I was gonna ask about. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Josh. You were saying something.
Oh no, I was just gonna add on to
for sure
what PBO is saying. Like like with certain positions too. One thing, you know, not that you should just look to do this, but if take full advantage, if you get in a situation where you're the only one that knows that has access to work on something, or if you understand, you're the only person that actually understands this system in and out.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because you can, you can, write your own,
Josh, I don't know.
Ticket. You know
Watch
what I'm
out,
saying?
Josh. They call
points.
that, Josh. They call that gatekeeping.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
No, that's squeezing them. Squeeze them, Josh. Squeeze their ass, Josh. Squeeze them.
Okay. Tell me a little bit more. Unpack that a little bit more for us. Mm-hmm.
Well, I don't think that's gatekeeping. I mean, it's job. I look at it as job security at the end of the day. I mean, you're irreplaceable at the end of the day. I mean, you can't be replaced by anyone else because you either built this system, you know what I'm saying, and you fully understand how it works. That I mean, they have to keep you around, and also, at a certain point when it comes to renegotiating, you could probably renegotiate for a lot more money as well.
Yeah.
So,
See, I know exactly why. No. You do know because you've done it, and I know that's part of your story. You were overseas. You developed an application that solved the problem. You made it, right? You were the architect of that application, and you almost became indispensable to that organization to the point where you were able to negotiate for higher salaries. So it ain't no I don't know. You know because you did it before. You did that. So that's one way, right? Path to golden handcuffs, or maybe not golden handcuffs, but path to be indispensable within an organization is doing something that nobody else knows how to do, solving a problem that nobody else knows how to solve. I think that's right along with what makes you very much so that like almost like rare. Like I remember when I was growing up, and I don't know what you guys' toys were or things were, but I know that I was growing up, we were big into Pokemon cards. And I don't know if you know about how Pokemon cards was with the holographics, right? The first generation holographic, like a Charizard, right? Those type of cards. If you had one of those, it was very rare. It wasn't very common that it was in a pack, like because you bought these little packs of cards. And the fact that it was so rare mean that the price went up. Yesterday's price wasn't today's price. It was a completely different price. So, I think Josh is speaking of that, right? Speaking about how to become indispensable is becoming rare to that organization, rare in your solutioning for that company. So I think that's one way to do it for sure. That's definitely one way to do it.
You got to be a little careful. I agree with Josh, but I seen guys, what happened is they got rare. It was something called Pick Basic. It was so rare. They were paying him like $200,000, but when we migrated to Oracle, they fired him, and he can never get back to that same money he got. It was so rare that even if you're rare, you still got to keep your things updated because what's hot now might not be hot later, right?
Right.
You do a program now. We did a program. Now everybody's trying to get to the custom off-the-shelf packages, right? Like, we used to build our own accounting system. Now you can just buy them off the shelf, right? So they're not rare. So you got to make sure, even though you're rare, you're keeping up with new skills. Because I knew BlackBerry programmers made $100,000 a year. They don't exist anymore, right? So you got to make sure you do that with a balance, right? Because the future never stops.
Absolutely. That's true. I could see that. So it's keep becoming rare, right? Because you can be rare today, how to be rare tomorrow too, right? How to be rare for the next thing. Right. Because now with a lot of organizations, like the White House had an executive order that went out. We spoke about a lot of different security methods to be implemented. The buzzwords are zero trust architecture or EDR solutions or MFA within all these environments. And the people, and I'm actually consulting now with some organizations on how to implement this within their industrial environments, right? That's something that's kind of rare now, but once they find a solution, that won't be rare anymore, right? Once they find a solution for that organization, it's like on to the next requirement, on to the next thing. So just like you mentioned, PBO, you gotta keep your skills and keep your knowledge base fresh.
Right. I'm the oldest, so I always tell people I try thinking 10 years in 10-year increments. Like my first bag was Oracle Forms and Reports. I got about 10 on that. Then I switched over to Oracle Java with NIST and STIGs. I was in the government. That's hot. So now I'm like, okay, I'm 50. I need 10. I gotta get this AWS. I'm gonna get this AWS, throw a little federal compliance on it, and I'm gonna try to slide on into retirement. So
absolutely.
Because every 10 years, and I tell people that's the good and bad about IT is.
Right.
You got to learn. You got to stay on the top of the game. But if you catch what's hot and you get the cloud or shout out to engineering ML, you can make about 200 and ride it on out till the wheels fall off. Like I did COBOL for a while. There's a little COBOL, but that disappeared. Right. Oracle's not hot anymore, right? So stuff comes and goes. Power Builder was hot. I was doing a little Power Builder. Those guys were making 100,000. So IT always gives you these certain opportunities that if you can jump on that wave, you can ride it for about a good 10 years before it falls off.
So the wave right now seems to be cloud, right?
That's
cloud,
the wave.
Cloud, everything is the current wave.
Everything.
What do you all see as the wave for tomorrow? Maybe like how do you make companies offer you to go to handcuffs tomorrow? What are you all thinking?
For me, I went with cloud, and I stand at Federal. We talk about it. I'm working with clients. Everybody wants to do Zero Trust, NIST 800-53, FERPA, IRS Pub 1075. Those federal compliance, because I always tell people tax money's infinite. So I stay in that federal space. And two is they don't let you hire a lot of people overseas. They want all that work done on the United States. So I get fat on that Fed money. So I'm gonna throw it to Josh, see what he got.
Yeah. What you think, Josh?
Well, I wanted to hear. I was still thinking about something in the last.
Go to the other one.
Talking about.
Feel free to hit anything. Yep.
No, I just wanted to hit on. Let's see what with the. Man, I totally forgot where I was trying to go with. Oh, I wanted to just add on to what I said though about getting into a job and trying to get it to where it's rare. You don't want to get complacent, and that kind of ties to what PBO was saying earlier that you got to keep learning. So don't get complacent. Even though you're the only one that can work on this system, you still should be learning new technologies and keep understanding other things, and that ties to the cloud. So let me just hop into that question as well. But the cloud is I think is here to stay. Good. And so I think people should focus on continuing to learn the cloud, and that's where those golden handcuffs will be. But absolutely. I got something else later, but go ahead.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, I just want to introduce my brother Wrench Turner. Welcome. It's been a while. Good to see you. How y'all doing, man? Absolutely. Anything you want to hit on, man? You had a floor. Anything you want to hit on as it concerns the discussion?
Brother, when you talk about those golden handcuffs, I think I briefly described first of all, pardon my manners. How y'all brothers doing, man?
What's good? No, you good, man.
I know Brother Gabe and Brother Keep It Techie. Those two brothers are familiar with years ago, but to the brother that I'm not familiar with, man, I'm Wrench Turner, brother. Nice to meet you.
What's up, man?
Yes, sir. Those golden handcuffs, man. Of course, we years ago we talked about, kind of my growth and what I had done in manufacturing.
Yeah.
And a changing of the guard, basically. The top performers ended up carrying all of the weight, and they got to a point where, and I was extremely loyal to the company, within reason, right? Within reason, but have a real nice salary, over 100K, but brother, you get to a point where my personal, and I also have a business outside of a day job. So I was like, bro, here in 2022, you see how businesses are moving. At the end of the day, I had to make a move that would benefit me. And I'm of the belief that you only have so many years of your really good working years. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I don't want to give all of those to any company.
Yeah. Yeah. That makes sense. So this wasn't you. Was
absolutely
you were a top performer, right? This wasn't you. You weren't. It wasn't just you with 50 million, 50 people that could do the same job. It was a completely different situation.
Absolutely not. That was me after I got off after working the 14, 18-hour day.
You wasn't unplugging stuff and busting up the whole data set.
No, we wasn't doing no hindrance, man.
All right. I got you. Okay. So that's the thing, right? The golden handcuffs and everything typically are for higher performers, individuals who are making an impact, a large impact within that organization, in order for them to even want to retain you. But you were seeing that your career goals and your timing was not aligning with that organization. So you're like, I'm out of here. So where you going now? Like, what's next for Rents Turner? What's next for you?
Yeah, man. So in 2019, I had started working on that on AWS.
Okay.
So started understanding, and this is all you guys' language, but this is some of the stuff I remember, like the NACL, the Network Access Control List, the subgroups. Yep. This is stuff from years ago that I still kind of remembered.
Yeah.
Started on it and then stopped. So I was like, man, let me get back into it because the information is there. You know what I mean? It's right there in front of you. It doesn't cost anything to go in and learn. So I was like, I'm gonna go the IT route, and one of the other plans that I have for later on down the line is actually manufacturing some floor pans for these year model cars that are really niche. So that's basically what my shop does, is rust repair for those shops. I mean, for those cars. In the long run, that is what I want to retire doing. So I always said, if I pass out and die on the job, it'll be in that shop, and I hope somebody find me. But you know, when you think about the immediate move is to get into tech, understand it, because I think that it has some practical application for some of the stuff that I do in my shop also.
That makes sense. Okay. And that's one thing, right? Because a lot of times companies want to retain you, especially when you're a higher performer. But if you have different goals for your own career, a different pathway that you want to go, you can easily get the key to those handcuffs, unlock those things, and just be out.
Oh yeah,
you know, that's a heavy consideration, right? Because I asked the question earlier, what is your price? And sometimes you don't want like you don't have a price to stay with that organization. You don't always have a price. So, you know, these are very good considerations, and, you know, brothers are going through it right now. So, you know, absolutely. Definitely. Anything anybody else want to add? I know we coming up on the hour mark here. I don't want to keep you all up for too late.
Yeah. The only thing I want to add is, and like you've been bringing up is, but that's how I make my money is I like to see people not performing. I like to people not doing what they're supposed to do. That's why you pay me, because I'm going to show you I'm that dude. I got skills most people got. So when I worked on big federal contracts when I was younger, I used to be upset. And my boss told me, he goes, that's why I brought you in and you were a consultant, because they're not doing anything. They knew 20% of the people wasn't doing jack. He said, that's why I brought you in. And after that, I just switched my mindset. I don't get mad. I go, that's how I make my money. You know, when shit don't work, that's when they call me. I do special projects. True story. This team worked on stuff for 2 years. I got to work it in 4 months, right? Because that's why they pay me, man. And two is the government at a certain level, especially in DOD and military, they hiring their buddies, they hiring their wives and dudes that got killed. So, you know, they're setting them up. They're taking care of them. There's no need for me to get mad. That's why you brought me in, because they can't do the job, right? So I just need to get I was really upset, and I just said, okay, it's a jobs program. We're going to give them a welfare pay them, right? So, and two is, once I start looking, they start hooking me up, and me and Keep It Techie. Half the jobs you see posted aren't open. They have to post them.
That's true.
They holding those peak jobs for people. They told me they would hold a job for me. I said, what happened if somebody above me could get it? They go, we'll pull it out, wait for them to leave, and repost it. I like, I see how y'all doing it now. But I'm cool with it, because y'all doing it for me now, right, though? So that's the game. You got to know how that game works, man, and maneuver in it, and, you know, figure out where you fit in it, right? So
absolutely.
Yeah, and that's 100% true, man. They definitely do that. You know what I'm saying? It's almost like what they call a good old boy system. You know, down south they call it that. The contracting community is real small, because they they need people with security clearance, and so it's a small group of people, and so you could be working for someone today, and then on another contract you could be they supervisor or the project manager on a position that this person that was managing you, you know, and that's actually happened to me. But it's crazy, the contracting game. But that's all I got though on the golden.
Absolutely.
The other weird part is I was working for Booz Allen, and Keep checking on this. I walk into them, and I thought they were gonna have all these programmers. It was a 1-star general, and I go, sir, where's your programming staff? He goes, excuse me, my young man, you're confused. We bid on $100 million contracts, and he said we sub it out to the little guys. we acquire the money, and we divvy it up with the little guys. He goes, we brought you in because we heard you a great resource, and I need you to go over here and get this contract on the sub. But he basically says, oh, little guy, we get the money and shell it out, because keep protected. Those are $100 million contracts. You know, they gave across the United States. You got to be a certain size to even bid on that work. Then they get a couple contracts. Even khaki, that's little to them. They just sub it out to Cap Gemini, which they make $100 million. They just split that money up, and y'all do the work, and they just manage it
easily because the contract game is crazy. Yeah, go ahead.
Man, when you told me that, I was confused, man. When I walked in there, I thought it was gonna be Rose. We goes, oh no, we contracted out to the little guys. I would go,
not the little guys.
I'm gonna learn today. Go ahead, keep it taking.
Yeah, and that's one thing that's actually written into those contracts as well. They have to give a certain percentage of those contracts to smaller companies, and also they have you know, the minority owned businesses as well that fall under there,
right?
Where they have to get they have to give
my
a certain
only issue
amount.
With that is I got to jump in on my fault. Keep it taking.
Nah, go ahead.
They messed it up because they let white women win 70% of that. But one of my white buddies, he did that.
Yep.
I'm like, dude, you gotta let me eat on some of that, man. That's supposed to be for the brothers. We cool. I just started like, that's supposed to be for the brothers. He goes, man, my wife got some of that. I was like, well, you got to give me some of that then.
But that's the thing. We not out there. You know what I'm saying? It's not that many of us out there with companies to actually with the requirements to get those contracts.
What's the black guy who just got the? What's the black guy who just got the? What is a $19 billion contract?
Yeah.
He was able to acquire that, right? So he's pretty much subbing and to all types of little organizations, right? The little guys, like you mentioned.
Yeah, I was gonna reach out to them. They're doing a lot of compliance and federal work in there. Go ahead, Wrench. My bad.
Yeah.
No, you good, brother. So one of the things that I've been thinking about, because this is really all new to me, right? I am extremely entry level.
Yeah.
So based on you guys' experience, for somebody like myself who's extremely technical, right? So can weld, can read blueprints, understand electricity. Basically, I was an industrial technician for like beverage equipment, but before I moved into management, so I did that for a couple of years. As it relates to tech, what would be the best route to go? When I look at AWS and I look at like the gateways, this is how I'm able to retain this stuff from years ago. I hadn't looked at this stuff in like 2 or 3 years. What would be the best route to go for somebody who's really technical as far as being good with their hands?
I've seen it manifest in a couple of different ways. Probably the most common way I've seen it is where those very technical, those individuals who understand processes, procedures within industrial environments shift over into industrial automation. And Amazon is very big in that, right? So it's almost like digitizing industrial things, like making a PLC within the cloud, or making a human machine interface or engineering workstation within the cloud, or in any type of what are these called?
RS Logics.
Like RS Logics, utilizing all of those type of protocols, but being able to automate a lot of that and be able to get out the information that you need through utilizing cloud resources. So industrial automation, I think, is a really big one. Going from physical things within plant environments into digital things, where it's pretty much like having plants almost run autonomously. Like, I'm not saying like you trying to put people out of a job, but it is that is like the wave of the future, right? Like automating a lot of these manual processes takes a lot of the human error and the human out of the loop. And it allows you to be able to be more predictive in the outputs of work that you have in plant environments. So that's probably the primary way that I've seen it happen in industrial automation.
Yeah, and one thing I can add to it, and probably PBO can hop right in after that, man. Auditing and compliance. You say you good at reading documents and following procedures. And, you know, I might not be using the right terms, but I know that what you explained, you know, kind of ties to the auditing portion, because they have that in IT as well. Just auditing systems, and it's basically following a lot of documents in the compliance port of it, right? PBO, am I right?
You 100%. That's actually what I do for a living, and I think Gabe because the PLC is a niche unto itself, so you can set those up, do automation, and if not auditing that, right? Because certain industries you got to have compliance. Once again, I do federal, so you got to do FSMA, me and Gabe talk about sticks, all that stuff, NIST.853. Or like you talked about, even President Biden talked about zero trust as a framework. What does that mean? You got to implement it for real and put, boots on ground or, configurations on systems. What does zero trust mean when you talk about east and west traffic, really?
Right.
What does that mean? So there's a lot of plays in that.
Okay.
And I even seen where like people, like, how you make like home labs, like how Keep It Techie makes like a Linux lab, right? At home, he has servers and everything running. PBO has an AWS lab that he's able to run in the cloud. There are industrial automation labs that you can create at home. You kind of got to buy some of that infrastructure, but it's able, like if you're able to model an organization's whole plant environment from a home like lab type of environment, you're able to give more predictive analytics on what the outputs of work are going to be, how long it takes for things to happen, able to predict when failures and things happen, able to predict when maintenance cycles need to repeat. Like those are some very valuable things. And that might come in a couple of different forms based upon the organization that you're working for like so if you're working for companies like Rockwell, right? So, or like ABB or Siemens, they have people, they will train you because of your base knowledge and understanding of the industrial process. They will train you in an IT specific type of area in industrial automation or industrial cybersecurity in order to go and be a customer facing person to say, hey, this person has been in the environment. They understand what it's like. Let them help you through getting to some security or some infrastructure stuff. I can go on and on and on about it because I see it all the time, but they will, like, they love people who are engineers. They love people who are process folk. Like they love that because many times, and there's nothing wrong with IT dudes, but a lot of times IT people have not literally had like put the hard hat on, put the steel toe boots on and walk the plant environment. But people who have done it are able to communicate that language to those individuals who work in utility organizations, oil and gas, nuclear. It's a big value for that. So hopefully I didn't say too much or give too much information, but feel free to jump in there. Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense, man, because a big part of my job now is, and I wish I wish that the company that I work for would move on some of this stuff, man, because when you talk about predictive maintenance, right now we use SAP as our CMMS system, right? So our computerized, maintenance system, right? Yeah. And when we talk about the frequency of when preventative maintenance happens, that's normally going back on historical data. So they'll say,
the data historians,
this part fail, and then you have to go back and look at, all right, we ordered at this increment, and then you try to set your preventative maintenance to land within that window. But also, the headache or the part that kind of pisses me off about what I do is you have this information and you can say, hey, we need to go in and we need to replace this gear reducer. Right now, we have historical data that say that it should have failed by now. It's still going, keep it running, keep it running.
Right. Run to failure, right?
Yeah, run to failure. And then when it fails, you have to do RCCMs and root cause countermeasures. It's a hamster wheel. So that's what I'm trying to get out of it. I'm like, bro, I'm through proving that I'm good at it. I'm through playing the politics of it. I'm like, I want to do something different.
Absolutely. Yeah. And the fact that there's so many different resources for tech careers and tech type of pathways, like with AWS, within security, within Linux, there's so many resources out there. The fact that you just learn so quickly, it's just an advantage, right? It's an advantage that you have in your pocket and you're focused. So I think that I don't think you'll have any issue transitioning into more of a tech or even combining the tech with the industrial experience that you've had. Like I don't see that that'll be an issue for you at all. So
I appreciate it. One more question. Does G code fall under tech? G code being like how the robots move and putting them in orientation.
So I've seen some of that like with FANUC, like those type of organizations.
Especially with FANUC. Yep.
KDB, so I know that they have trainings. They have trainings to like programming FANUC machines, but
I have that program on my computer.
Okay, boom, right. So I don't know. I think they are right in there, right? Yeah. But so you don't program those with like ladder logic or anything. Is there a certain language?
So what they do is, and a lot more the companies are starting to do it, but Krones, this German company, Krones, they like everybody out of their programming. Like if something needs to be programmed, they're like, we'll do a remote, Oh, we will fly got to you from Germany, but you guys are not getting into our program.
Yep.
Now with Fanic has its own. It has its own program where you could actually. I've actually watched them go in and then make adjustments.
Oh, you paused up on us.
I think he locked up. The robot got him.
Yeah. And before he comes back, like pretty much you can talk about Python, you can talk about Java, you can talk about all these, right? When you talk about programming robots, you talk about ladder logic and some proprietary programming languages that you use in order to control the robots in industrial environments, because they're making car parts, they're making all types of things, right? They're putting together devices, they're putting together, I don't know, like even this bottle, they probably have a machine that screws it on and puts on the label and everything. So that's kind of what he's talking about there.
Yeah,
the only part he's coming back.
Yeah, the part about that really is shout out to engineering cannabis is now people take all the statistics, put machine learning in there, so you can really get in there to figure out, okay, this a part where when it snows, it's gonna cut the time in 10% because of the weather, right? They start putting all those data points in there.
And that's so important, man, because you're talking about predictive maintenance because a lot of times when something goes bad, you have to send out a service technician, you have to send out an individual in order to service that thing. Then you're talking about hours. Then you're talking about what the rate of for that particular work is. You have to talk about replacement parts. These are like factors and variables that are big contributors to the bottom line of organizations' businesses. They want their stuff to run. They want their stuff to make money within industrial environments. They don't care nothing. They care about the tech stuff. They just want it to work. So the more and more that you're able to deal with the operations on a daily basis, if you can use tech to do that, and that's where I was trying to steer him towards that industrial automation piece. If you can use tech in order to help you with dealing with the business in your industrial environments, then that's one of those, right? Those things that people want to give you some golden handcuffs for, type of thing. But I don't mean to just keep going in and in on that subject. But I do want to start to close out here. I'm about to go to bed soon.
Oh,
it's
yeah,
11.
The cool thing is I get to work from home tomorrow. So yeah, I get to work. But
I'm about to be a girl dad. We just found out it's about to be a girl. So we had the gender reveal thing today. So man, thanks.
Yeah, but like Keep It Techie said, and you just brought it up, and that's real big on the AWS is automation. Are you using Ansible, Cloud Formation? There's a ton of stuff out there, but when you really doing big system, you can't go on a console because you got 200 VMs you got to handle or 200 EC2s. You got to be able to automate all that stuff and be able to do it with a click of a button, right? That's when you're on top of the game. That's when you can get the golden handcuffs, right?
Absolutely. So that's that becoming rare, right, to an organization. Right. Anything else before we close out? I don't have anything else.
No, just work on your skills, work on your base technology. Go check out Josh's free Linux. I'm a Linux guy. I always think that's the base tab. And it's like you said, you want to be rare, but you want to keep, learning. And that's really what it's about. Even at my age, 54, you got to keep your skills up. Your ass could be fired tomorrow, man. That's all I got. That's all I got.
Anything for you, Josh?
Yeah, and I just had the same thing, man. I mean, you're just a number to a lot of these companies at the end of the day. So just keep skilling up so you can put yourself in a better situation in case that day does. Well, when that day does come, because I mean, not sure about you, Gabe, but I've been laid off of positions. You know what I'm saying? And it's based on the budgeting system that I was running for the company.
Sometimes you can be too expensive.
You know what I'm saying?
But, sometimes you can be too expensive for that organization where it's difficult for them to retain you. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
It's not always only about your skills. A lot of times, just the bottom line is the business.
That's why my contract ended. The CIO came up to tell me. He told me he was a cool guy. He goes, "I tire your bill rate's too expensive." So he gave me a state salary. It was too low, and he just said, "I'm not going to sign your contract." And it was cool. He said, "I'm going to give you 6 months. So talk to your company, get another job." But most people don't even tell you that. They let you shit right. You think you're going to get renewed. So he was cool with it. So like I said, I'm on the bench right now. He just told me, goes, "You too expensive. You trained everybody up. Everybody's ready to run. So you're going to need to go do something else." I told him, man, I got a 9-year run as a consultant, man. I can't complain.
Nothing wrong with that.
And I got called back when I got laid off from one of the jobs. I actually got called back. They contracted me to train someone else to understand what I actually did. So they hired me, and I was like, I raised the rate on them. You know what I'm saying?
Yesterday's price,
but yeah,
not today's price.
Different
prices.
So for about 2 months, just training up the other guys in the organization on everything that I did. They pay me, a good amount of money to come back and do that. But at the end of the day, you can get laid off. You know what I'm saying? So constantly, stay skilled up. And that's what I was going to bring up. Like, nowadays, and this has been going on, especially with medium businesses around that. They have investment just like people, they have investment companies that come in and buy houses. They have investment companies that come in and purchase businesses, and they want to turn a profit. So they'll cut positions and reorganize the thing each year to try to get as much profit out of it in order to make money, so they can sell it at the end of the day. Sell it at a higher rate later on. It's like what Ramel do, flipping houses, flipping businesses. You know what I'm saying? And investment groups come in and actually do that type of stuff. So
and probably one of the first things that they do is take out redundancy, right? Typically it's a sales. It's a sales role within the company that they acquired. They cut all the salespeople. HR roles, they got somebody for recruiting. They got somebody to manage human resources. They got multiple people, right? So a lot of times, if you're redundant, if you're not rare, if it's multiple people that can do your same job, you might be on the chopping block. So watch out for that. We're just doing closing thoughts here. Rich Turner, you got anything to lead the people with?
No, man. I appreciate all the information that you brothers put out, man. And
absolutely.
For somebody like me who spent a lot of years and a lot of time getting really good at what I do now, or what I'll be doing for the next month and a half or so. I'm actually excited to learn something new, and the information, I know it may not seem like a lot to you guys, but just the jewels that you dropped on me tonight are huge for me, because I just need to know. I'm gonna go 1,000 miles an hour. I'm just trying to figure out exactly which way to go.
I'm telling you, there are so many different paths, but I think you have an extremely, like, you're not coming in the game like fresh. You're coming in the game with a lot of experience that a lot of new people don't have. So you're you're building on your skill set. You're building on your base already, and you're building on your years of experience. So I have no doubt that you'll be successful in whatever path that you decide to go down.
Appreciate it, brothers.
So I think that's it. We talked about the golden handcuffs. Actually, we started talking about company loyalty. I think everybody talked about how it probably doesn't exist anymore. There are no pensions. They don't take care of you after you leave that organization. They aren't giving you incentives. They aren't giving you none of that, right? And a lot of times that leads to golden handcuffs. Companies are trying to lock the best talent down in order to keep them within that organization with high compensation, with paying for student loans, with doing all types of things to keep you with that organization. We talked about a bunch of that. And then these brothers here, they gave a lot of their experience, what it looked like for them. And also we kind of get into some other conversation as it concerns contracts. I'm going to try to go through this again. I'm going to try to put timestamps for those who are watching, so you can go back and be able to view the great content that is happening over here. And thank you, brothers, for coming through to the panel. I appreciate you being here. And on that note, this is Struggle Security. Weird title, but we're normalizing struggling in cybersecurity and tech really as a whole. So thank everybody for coming through. All right, see you all later.